So if I'm truly honest, the words healing and journey and healing journey together are probably my two worst words in the entire world, but yet that's where I found myself. Healing to me just sounds really meh, like it's gonna be lighting a candle and then like pretending I'm really relaxed. And the journey, I'm not up for it. I feel exhausted. I feel ready for some action. I don't want to lie down and shut my eyes. I want to jump up. I want some energy back. I want some spark. I want like my former self to kind of like jump out of my wardrobe in the morning, fully dressed, ready to go, team t-shirts, knowing what they're going to do, knowing that they have some purpose, being able to see the future. Like all that stuff just feels really out of my grasp at the moment. So I'm not going to call it a healing journey, but then what is it? Like, is it a comeback? I do like those movies. Is it a new era? Hashtag healed? Can't do it. I think simply where I've got to is it's a choice. It is a choice now. I pick the ending of my own story, and this is page 1, where I am now, and I've got to go and meet myself at page 1, look at myself and go like, oh, it makes me sad because I want to go, it's not fair. Like, how did this happen? Like, you know, the trauma's too much. The depression is a lot. You know, you self-destructing yourself. You are cripplingly isolating yourself, spending so much time alone. And really, I see it and I get it. But let's now look at the choices. Let's see what choices you have, because what I've realized lately is there are so many cool, unique, fascinating, interesting things to learn and experiences to have that are deeply healing and release the trauma, and you feel really like you're living again just by living through the experiences and trying them. So let's try, because I don't know your situation. I'm grieving. I've lost my sister. She died really tragically, leaving 2 young kids, leaving me an only child. My whole family's really struggling, and no one's coming to scoop me up, but equally no one's dragging me back either. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go forward, and I've found some really fun ways of doing it. So let's talk about biohacking and the PEMF technology. It stands for pulsating electromagnetic field, and it is insane. It is the future of healing. And now I've said it to you, I promise you're going to hear it absolutely everywhere. So do give me 5 minutes of your time to explain it, because I'm sure that you or somebody in your family is going to find this, like I have, a total revolution. It is a revolution. It is coming. It is happening. So our bodies are energy. We are all energy. All of our cells are vibrating at a certain frequency. And when you have disease, or when you have trauma in your body, or you've injured yourself, or you have a chronic illness, those parts of your body will be moving at a different frequency. And actually, by putting in a healing frequency to counteract it and bringing the cells onto the healing frequency, they can begin to rejuvenate and begin to heal. And then lo and behold, we discovered this company, Mirrormate, who do mats that have the frequency healing in. They are big mats. You can get, mine is the Big Magic, but you can get full body mats, and then you have it with you wherever you want to go. They come even with a carry bag. They just charge up, put them in the plug on your wall, and then you have that frequency going through your body, and you can sleep on it all night long. And sleeping on heat pads is just treating the symptom. If you're sleeping on a PEMF mat from Mirrormate, your cells are literally getting into a better frequency that allows them to heal. Lay down on the mat, I sleep on it, and I find it really, really hard to relax. I've had depression, I've been on antidepressants, I've had really a difficult time just feeling like I can let my guard down, that I can heal. I've had back pain, physical pain, shoulder pain, and you get into bed and you just feel like it's so hard to put your shoulders down, it's so hard to relax your face, it's so hard to turn your brain off. With the mat, when I lie down, all my cells will be vibrating at whatever speed they're at. I might be really stressed and I'm in fight or flight, or I might have a sore back and then my cells around there are working really, really hard. And when I lay down, I get put into the frequency of the mat, which is the Earth's resonance, and all my cells will slowly begin to start vibrating at the same speed and frequency as the Earth. So now I am part of the Earth. I am part of the Earth's frequency, and we know that that is the ultimate frequency for healing. All my cells can rejuvenate themselves overnight. If I've got medicine in my body, it can work much faster around my body. And if I've got a pain point, it will really help to alleviate it. And it brings our cells down into out of the fight and flight mode and all the stress and into nature mode, which is our parasympathetic, so we can actually start to really enjoy all that healing, and we're just feeling much more balanced. But you get that in this mat, and if you need a boost, don't we all? It is absolutely incredible. So another way of explaining it is, think about frequencies, think about music. Music is just a frequency, and we know the frequency can massively change our mood. Music can make us really happy. Music can bring our emotions to the front and make us cry. Music can really calm us down. It can actually make us cleverer. So think about that. That is the power of frequencies. And also think about how it moves through our body if you compare it to having an ultrasound. So an ultrasound, when you have a baby, is literally a sound wave that's going through our body, creating echoes, which create this moving video that we see on a screen of a child inside of our body. That is all sound waves. I know, I never thought about either why it's called an ultrasound, but it is incredible when you start to learn about frequencies and how they go right through our body and can totally affect us deeper than a lot of external medicine can. There are so many testimonials on their website, people with lower blood pressure, people with chronic back pain, people with chronic illnesses, people like my sister with really strong diseases, that this can really absolutely help. It's called biohacking for a reason, and I am so obsessed with it. It is the future, I absolutely promise. So I will leave them linked in the description box below. Please share this video with anybody that you know who has a chronic illness or has really struggled with depression, anxiety or insomnia. I really want to share it with my friend whose daughter has really difficulty of sleeping through her autism, because I really wonder if it will help her as well. And of course, anyone with cancer. This was Naomi's work. This is Naomi's work. This was her trying to raise awareness of frequency healing by getting the mat, and she was really, really passionate about it. So I am a bit of a proud tree hugger, but recently I went forest bathing with Harmony in Nature and learned so mumuch about it, and how Shirin-yoku, which is the Japanese art of bathing in the forest, like sunbathing, not in water, has so many benefits mentally and physically. And it's because trees are constantly releasing something called phytoncides, which is connecting to all the plants around them, helping them to change and heal and adapt to the seasons. Like, we really need to learn this about wintering and slowing down. And when you're underneath the tree's canopy, lying there or walking super slowly, all the natural chemicals also go through us. They do a lot of sniffing, which I found really funny, but it strengthens your immune system. And fascinatingly, it enhances the activity inside you of your natural killer cells, which are responsible for fighting off infections and tumours. It's a huge part of immunotherapy, which is starting to get a lot of resonance amongst the Cancer Society. And I just really encourage you to go out, walk as slowly as you can, which is super hard, but it's actually great if you've got toddlers, because they naturally go slow. Pick things up, smell them, touch them, and you'll just become part of that environment, and you will find your stress, anxiety and your worries can really be relieved in the forest. So earlier this year I did a 3-week gut reset, and I'm going to repeat it actually in January. I lost 13 centimeters around my stomach, which is quite intense actually. I think that's just because I had so much of a build-up of toxins, and also when you're stressed you hold a lot of that in your gut, and they do say our gut is like our second brain, don't they? So I thought I'll give this a go, promise to tell you more about it. So I did it because my neighbour was running it, and we did it in a group of about 5 of us. So our body actually holds something like 90 trillion bacterias and these floras, which is called the microbiome, which I've heard a lot about. And our microbiome is like fully formed by the time we're 3, and is kind of perfect balance of good and bad bacteria, and our bodies are functioning really well. But then over the years, our environment, our lifestyle kind of start to really affect the imbalance of it, and it affects every part of our body, because 90% of our bacteria is held in our gut. And I really learned so much about the importance of purifying your body, at least doing it once a year just to get it reset. So I'm doing my reset again in Jan. I did mine at a company called Synergy, which my neighbour sort of helped to sort of run a little group, but you can do all sorts of different ones, you can read about them. But I lost 13 centimeters from my stomach, so it just goes to show how much I was holding, and how much inflammation I had in my gut, which is kind of gross when you think about it. So you do the clean eating, and if we're having a vegan lifestyle which you feel is healthy, a lot of times there's lots of processed foods in the supermarket that are vegan or vegetarian, or the alternative meats and things like that, and you kind of think that's really good for you, but actually when you're doing the clean eating, you make everything from scratch and focus on a much more diet that's like all clean foods, and you cook a lot more, which is really good. Got the kids involved. Obviously if you're a meat eater, you can have meat, you can have fishes, and then and then you have the certain drinks that I drank along the way. So this one sort of clears your gut out. It's quite nice, you get a bit addicted to it. You have things like the Pro Algae, which then is all your essential vitamins and nutrients that get your biome back up again. So really, really good, really interesting. They do call our gut like our second brain, and I think that the mental load really does clear as well. Like I felt like I was sleeping a lot better, I felt my mood had improved. A lot of people in my group were saying they were much less anxiety and things like that. So they do call the gut the second brain, which I never quite figured out, but I know that the gut has the same sort of cells and the same sort of system as our brain, and also that the brain will send all of its sort of healing and its processing to the gut to kind of do that physical work. So if our gut is kind of inflamed or not its best, as it probably won't be after December, it's a really good time to do a purification. So yeah, I'm going to do it again. I think it's a really top thing if you are looking to do some really simple well-being. It will have more benefits than you imagine. So singing and dancing, I hope this inspires you, because it's super embarrassing how bad I am at both. But I joined a choir, I joined a Broadway dance class, and I just have the most fun. It is really about like just having fun and making yourself look silly and think about all the stuff that our kids do. And I kind of like the fact that they'll look at me and go, oh, mummy also goes off and does these clubs and has fun. And I love just not knowing anyone and having that sort of social time without any of the deepness, and the endorphins do really get going.
So the reflexes all around your body, so all your body parts, where they're mapped onto your face, onto your hands, onto your feet.
Sure. Yeah.
By stimulating those nerve endings, it's sending messages through the different zones in the body to the different parts of the body, and then that helps them heal. So then you're healing, and then you're releasing the emotions. So it's all about treating the nervous system, unblocking any stuck energy flow, any imbalances, and just to get that nice regular flow going again. So that really helps with the release.
So yeah, not a healing journey. It's really easy to say, I'm trying to heal, or I'm trying to be better, or I'm trying to be a better version of myself. It's all that stuff is just so fluffy, and I find it really difficult when I'm watching these videos to kind of go, but what are you actually going through? What is your day-to-day trauma? How does it show up to you? And for me, it's very much about feeling very lost and not being able to see the future. And I think it's really hard to motivate ourselves towards improvement. So I do think about it as coping strategies, and I find that a much easier way to think about it. So if I am trying all these things to make my body be able to respond better to all the stress and the build-up that's coming from my mind into my body, then hopefully that means I'm avoiding this still being my situation in 6 weeks' time, in 6 months' time, in 6 years' time, in my children's childhood. You know, I want to be able to be a calmer, more resilient person physically and mentally, and I've got to work at that. It's not just gonna come to me. I've got to try things. So if you've watched all this way, I'm really fascinated to know what you think. If you've heard of PEMF frequency healing, I actually got the mat after my sister had died, because she was so passionate about frequency healing, and Mirror Mate are the most lovely people. I've literally been chatting to them for about a year, working to bring you the product because I wanted to really understand it. I'm really like geeky and I want to know all how it works, but they are lovely, lovely people, really dedicated to the purpose of helping us to heal, and I really believe in them. I really believe in the product so deeply. As I said, there's a big discount at the moment for Christmas on their website, so do go and check it out and read more about it. I'd love to know if you've heard of it and what you think of it. Also, I'd love to know your ways in which you found coping strategies for difficult times, because I know it's not just me, and I know I'm not alone, and I also know that, you know, me and my sister always said we would make the videos that we would want to watch, and I feel that me back in May, this would have been helpful. And as much as we can show up in the world and wear our mask and get out there and carry on, it's about feeling it. It's about really being present inside, and I think that's the difference, and that's what I'm really hoping to get to, is feeling like I'm living my life, and that I'm living my life in a way that I'm proud of, and that would be an amazing goal to get to. So thanks so much for watching if you have all the way through. Thanks again to Mirrormate for sponsoring and for being so lovely this whole last year, and I will speak to you in the comments. Bye guys.